Thank you for the introduction. It's great to be here today in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It's really excited to join everybody and hopefully give you an engaging debate. If it's anything like the calls we've had, it will be something to worth listening to. As we're here, it'd be great. It'd be good for me just to give you a little bit of background into myself and the company. So. I've held various roles across global football with about 12 years experience as a consultant for investors and clubs alike, and then with scouting recruitment experience with Southampton and Liverpool in England. The company was formed in 2016 and has been sort of evolving ever since, built into Fenerbahce in Turkey, and we've grown to a point where we're now in to 5 different continents with clubs across the globe. So very exciting time and great to be here today. So Marco, it'd be great for you just to give a little brief introduction, please, on yourself and the role with Al Ittihad.
Sure. First of all, thank you so much for being here. It's nice to present and to share some ideas and some thoughts that we have for innovating in terms of scouting. I start my position of my new role as a head of scouting and big data 9 months ago in Al Ittihad. Originally from Venezuela. A short pass, I played, then I was a coach, and then I started my career as a scout back in Europe. And then I joined Al Ittihad with Ramon Planes and his group. And it's been amazing. It's been amazing so far. Some challenges and then some new things that we will develop in this league that we want to empower the club to be the greatest in Saudi football. So for me, it's amazing to be here to share some ideas and to obviously try to learn from all the people that is here in the event.
Great. I think it'd be remiss of us to not touch upon something that's really prevalent in world football at the moment, and that's the art of succession planning. Good, bad, and indifferent. Now, it's a complex industry with many different things to consider. But I think this slide was actually debuted in May, and it's been quite interesting, especially over the last 24, 36 hours, to see the evolution of that. We're not saying that this is right, wrong, or anything else, but it just proves the importance of being able to plan successfully. So. Marco, from your experiences across everything, how important is it to try and mitigate the loss of a key personnel, whether that's manager, player, or staff?
Yeah, for us, it's very important. One of the things that I always say is that I try to get a lot of information from people, try to learn from other clubs, trying to learn from their rivals, and try to find how we can be the best. And I think now with technology, big data, and is evolving in scouting, and it's really important to be key and to be the first one to arrive to the new talent. So I think it's how modern football is working, how modern football is growing, and I think now we need to look at the best clubs in the world, at how they do it, and how can we be like them or best over them.
Absolutely. And from a Saudi Pro League perspective, from what we've discussed, and my understanding is many players will go to the end of their contracts. So not many transfer sales.
For us, that's the key, to find the best Saudi players and to develop them with our methodology, with our coaches. But also, as you mentioned, it's a plan, and we have sometimes bigger stars that are coming from Europe on a big term contracts, and we need to prepare ahead when they are finishing the contract or when it's going to happen in the next step. So we have a lot of players that have finished contract in 2026. So we are already working in trying to find who are they going to be the key players that we're going to come bring to our team to replace them in the future. So it's more about planning ahead. It's more about planning for the future, and this is where we would try to help or get the help with the data to try to plan ahead and to find some profiles that are similar to what we have, so we can keep the methodology for a few years in the club.
Great. So the experience that I've come across, and like you and maybe many people in the room, would see that some of the bigger organisations can do that because of just the vast amount of data that's available. So the experiences that I've seen across youth academies in England, in the US, in Belgium, these data is being inputted into club operations from a very, very young age. And is that the evolution that you see for football in Saudi, not as a whole, and Al Ittihad?
Well, we wish that's it's going to happen soon. I think most of the colleagues that works in other clubs have the same problem, or the same issue that I found out when I arrived here 9 months ago. Is that you arrive and you look at the pro league, and all the players are coming, and you feel like it's a league that is growing, and the league is a lot. It's a lot because it's a lot and it's very professional. But then when you go down to the base, to the youth, and to the academy level, there is a lot of piece missing, and I think this is what we are trying to do in the club. As one of the missions that we have in the club is to be pioneers, and to try to find innovations that will develop and will put our club as one of the best in Saudi. And that's the strategy from the CEO, from our sporting director, and I think now is a way to try to replicate what they're doing in Europe, already getting data from players in the U15, U16, U17, and U18, and trying to build a profile from those players that can arrive to the first team really quick. So I think this is a process. Now I think all the clubs are facing this trouble, but I think with the help of all the clubs and the federation, I think it's a way to arrive to there.
Absolutely. I think it's when we see, the building point and the potential to start from where this position is now in Saudi is fantastic, because 10, 15 years ago it was at a certain point. Now the access and the availability of data is vast, but actually the platforms and the understanding of how to implement it is there, and we're seeing best practices across many, many different countries and organizations to do that. From our perspective, with clients that we've worked with, we're helping to input physical data, transfer opportunities, sort of from various contract values, contract lengths, then the technical and tactical elements. So the capability to do that is there. AI is massively helping that, because it's further understanding your needs and your processes. So from that perspective, how from Al Ittihad's perspective, what's the longer term vision? So if we can help those homegrown players and help hopefully to get you in the first team, can you explain what it can do for not only the ecosystem, but then also for you to move forward?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's two strategies that we build in the sporting side. Obviously, trying to be the best academy and to find the best talents around the country. We are doing a lot of things like tryouts in different cities and bringing the players. But the country is very big. It's huge, the country, and I've been to some of the cities, and you find a lot of talent that are playing in an academy, in school. So it's difficult to control those players and to just keep track of them. So for that reason, I think involving data into this project is very key. It's very key to keep tracking of the player, to recognizing where are the players that are doing good in the leagues, or doing the school league, or doing the second division, and then from there we want to get the help with data, with the methodology that we brought to the club with the academy director and the methodology director, and try to make a progress and build a path for the players. We don't want the players to die in the last academy year, because reaching the first team is very difficult. So we are trying to build a path. We are trying to find ways for those players to be seen in other leagues, in Europe, in MLS, in the Middle East, and to help those academy players being seen, you need to have things to show. And I think right now, whenever you are gonna talk to teams in, I don't know, Netherlands, Belgium, France, any club, they ask you, okay, where is the data? Let me see the player. The player is in Y Scout, no Y Scout, video recording. So I think the league and in our side as a club, we're trying to have this information in the path from the players, so those players can move into the next step.
And I think it's a great point you mentioned, not only because it aids the first team, which obviously that's your main role and what you're there to do, but the main ecosystem of football in the Middle East it can really benefit from these. So as much as we're talking about scouting and recruitment, actually the emphasis is using that upon development. So in many big clubs and many well-performing academies, the individual development plan is driven from core objective data, and the utilization of that enables comparisons against X players in different countries, players in different regions. So it's a huge aspect, isn't it, to be able to not only just recruit talent but also develop and progress that talent.
Yes, correct, and for that reason we also use data. It's a key thing for us, and I am sorry to mention it too many times, but we use it a lot. We try to develop or put our style of plays into numbers, into equations, into things that I can try to find the next right back that looks like the right back we have, and we try to not only go into the market to find where is that player in the first division or in Europe, but also we wanted to do it in the base. And without data in the base, it's difficult. So we're trying to work that out, but the idea is to create our players profile, our players per position profile, and work with them into that development process to not only. And as you mentioned, obviously in the first team we have in every country in the world, in every club, the results. And for that reason we have pressure every weekend to win the games and to be on the top of the league. But also for us as the sporting director have developed in our methodologies to working with the base and working in the development process of those players. And it's not only on the men's side, it's also on the women's side. So we're really proud of the work that we are doing in the base and try to develop the Saudi players more than just bringing these foreigner stars that are helping the Saudi players grow and helping the league and the country grows in progressively to be one of the powers in the next few years.
That's really interesting, and I want to come back to a point that you made around making sure your position profiles are ready, because the data going in is vital, but then the next bit, which is the maths and the fun bit, as many data scientists will allude to, and the complicated bit for many others as well, is the maths and the algorithms that go into that to be able to combine the what the eye sees, but also then the numbers. So how important for you is the customization of this? Because not only from an Al-Ittihad perspective, but if any federation or any club out there is willing to do that, for me it's imperative, because styles differ from area to area, region to region, league to league. Just how important is that for you?
Yeah, 100%, and I think it's a process that takes time.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of time, because even though we want to develop a methodology in the club, obviously first team runs into a different speed, so it's difficult to find out that synchronization between first team and academy. So we start based in the academy, and we try to identify what type of player we need, or what type of player we can find into the kingdom, and try to work with him in trying to develop them and to reach the highest level. Not only we use the data to create our profile, but to also find out where is that profile in the country, and I think this is how clubs are doing it in Europe. This is how evolution is going into scouting and technology. So we want to do the same thing, and we want to be able to be the first one to scout the player that we really want in our club.
Absolutely. And you mentioned your time earlier. Now, the data, the footballing world is demand for data is huge, and the time and efficiency of that is the next thing. So once we get the building blocks right to get the data set and get the profiles made, it's then how can you utilize this and how can you get it on demand, if you like. So from your perspective, how important is it to have something that's accessible, easy to use, and to be able to filter hundreds of thousands of players into something that's quite a manageable list?
Yeah, I think this is where we all want, and I think some of the colleagues from other clubs are here. Is what we want. We want to be the first one to arrive to the player, and it's very important because nowadays, as I mentioned, the country and the kingdom is very big, and if I go back to my scouting team, and we're trying to develop a scouting team with a lot of scouts that can cover the cities and the games. But if you go now, there is 4 leagues in the academy level, and from those four leagues, mainly they play 2 days, Friday, Saturday, and they play at the same time. So it's impossible. You need to have, I don't know, at least 20 scouts to see all the games on live. The federation is doing a very big step from last season to this season, that everything and all the games are mainly recorded. But if the data and these tools can help you to identify where is the player that is been doing good, or where is the player that is matching the metrics that you have in your club, then it's easy for us, and in the scouting team to organize and to send those scouts to watch those players and to arrive sooner to those players before the other teams arrive, and before the league is on the 10 round or the 20 round. We all in the club have a lot of pressure sometimes, and it's a lot of demands. We want to find the player, but whenever we find the player, we need to make sure, and we need to see it once, 2, 3 times. If you don't have the data to filter you and get to that third scene live in the round 20, maybe another club already got ahead of you. So it's very important to be ahead and to work on that and to organize yourself using data to filter and find that player before others.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've obviously spoken at length, and our interaction came a few years prior with our AI-powered alerts via WhatsApp and things like that, and those functionalities have been so important in terms of just getting information quickly and efficiently and tailored to your methodology, and it's a really nice sort of very, very quick, and I've been given 2 hurry-ups already, very quick wrap-up of really the pyramid of data, if you like. So just to finish, really, that data collection is huge. The ability to then go in and customize it and build and ultimately